In this video, I'm going to talk about GTM, or Grammar Translation Method. As the name speaks for itself, Grammar Translation Method, it means grammar is very important, translation is very important. It means whatever you do inside the class, teaching students should happen in students' native language. For example, if you have Farsi learners, you should speak Farsi as a teacher inside the class. This is what GTM basically is. Today, I'm going to describe a class which is run through GTM techniques. Look at my slide, because first I have to describe what the class is and what features this class has. My today's class, the level of learners is intermediate. The context in which I teach through GTM is EFL context. I'm sure you know what EFL is. It means teaching English as a foreign language in countries like Iran. The method is GTM, as I told you. The skills that are very focused in GTM are reading and writing. You should be able to read target language culture. The skills which are never focused on are pronunciation and speaking. So let's get started. In GTM, a class has a reading passage. This reading passage has some particular types of questions, such as short answer questions, in which you are going to find some referential questions answer or inferential questions answer. The second type of question, there are some questions in which you have to relate your own personal experience to the experience that you find in the passage. The third type of question may be some synonyms and antonyms you have to find from the passage and to answer the question in the exercise box. Spelling exercises and dictation are another type of question. After knowing different types of questions, now I'm going to describe you different types of activities inside the class, in GTM class. The first type of activity or exercise, as you can see on my slide, is fill in the blank space exercise. In this question, students are asked to fill in blank spaces with some words missing, some synonyms, some antonyms, some prepositions. But students should find answers for these blank spaces from the passage. The next type of activity is memorization. Students are given a list of words with their Farsi equivalents or native language equivalents, and they are asked to memorize them. And even students are asked to memorize some verb patterns, such as word formation or different parts of speech. For example, one word is chosen from the passage, and students are asked to talk about this word's different parts of speech. For example, if the word is adjective, students are asked to find the noun form of that adjective, the verb form of it, adverb form of it, and so on. Another type of activity that I have written on this slide for you is composition. Consider the same reading passage, guys. Students are given that passage. After doing some couple of exercises and drills, students are given a topic related to the topic of that passage, and they are asked to write about that topic. Students already have some background information gained from that reading passage. So now they are prepared to write that topic because it is related to the reading passage they have read. Sometimes, in the composition type of activity, students are asked to write a summary of the reading passage as a composition activity. In this way, the teacher describes how to write that composition. For example, what paragraphs are highlighted and what paragraphs talk about the basic purposes of that passage. Finding the purpose of each paragraph is very important because in this way, students can grasp what they write about. So, if you pay attention carefully, in this slide, what skills are focused? Reading, writing, vocabulary, grammar exercises. They are much more focused and highlighted than other skills. Students are not asked to produce anything. Students are not asked to say something in order to have a correct pronunciation. As I told you guys, one of the questions is short answer questions. I have written 6 types of short answer questions for you. Let's have a look at them. Number 1, what is monsoon season related to in India? Economy of India. If you pay attention to the passage, people are so much active in monsoon season, and in India, the economy of this country grows. What do we call this type of question? Referential question. Pay attention. Referential questions are questions that are directly found in the passage because they are about the details. Question number 2. Apart from agriculture, what does monsoon season affect? The answer is India's tourism industry. Again, if you pay attention to the passage, you can see that tourists come to this country in monsoon season. And it is directly mentioned in the passage. Because of this, we call it referential question. Question number 3. What are the reasons tourists become attracted to monsoon season? If you pay attention to the reading passage, you can find there, because of the price and lower prices, people, especially tourists, are attracted to this season. Look at my answer. Lower prices and some festivals at the beginning and end of this month. Again, this question is called referential question. Why? Because it talks about the details of that reading passage. Look at the next one. Number 4. What are the 2 months when Onam festival is held? This is absolutely a referential question. Why? Because you can directly find the answer to this question in the passage. August and September are 2 months in which Onam festival is held. Question number 5. What has been the highlighted image for making monsoon season popular? This question is not directly found in the passage. Because of this, we should inferentially get the answer. And inferentially speaking, the answer is government. Government has been the highlighted image in the whole part of the passage to be very effective and popular in the concept of monsoon season, to make it internationally known. Question number 6. Why are the festivals held at the beginning or the end of monsoon? To attract tourists is the answer. This is another inferential question because you cannot exactly and directly find it in the passage. You should implicitly and inferentially understand it regarding the context and the content of the passage. This exercise is fill in the blank space type. In this exercise, you are given some questions with blank spaces inside. You should find the answers to these blank spaces from the words given. Some of the words are extra. Where do the words come from? These given words come from the passage. So, if you understand the passage, there are some highlighted words that should come to your use in this exercise. So, you can give fill in the blank space type of exercise to your students in grammar translation method. However, there is a prerequisite. Students should know the meaning of these given words before answering the questions. Finally, if you remember, the last type of exercise was composition. I have put the case of composition here for you. Composition was about writing about a topic which is closely related to the title of the reading passage. The title of the reading passage was about one of the festivals in India. Now, the topic of composition goes, write about 3 festivals of your own country and mention what the strategies of your country's government are to attract tourists. You should write 200 words about this topic of composition. In this video, you could see one reading passage with some question types and exercise types, and you know how to work with your students according to GTM or grammar translation method. Finally, I want to say something. Nothing is bad. Despite the fact that GTM is very old, sometimes you can use it. If you don't believe it, you can download the article. There is no best method. If you liked this video, your subscription and comments make us happy.